Yeah, can we first of all get your thoughts on the match? You go up 2-0. They score that late goal, and then second half. What did you see? What did you like? What did you didn't like out of the second half performance?
Yeah, I thought generally in the first half we were pretty solid. We get, like you said, we get the 2-0 lead. It's just the moments in the first half that are exciting because we're counterattacking and we're going at top speed across the field. Sometimes 60, 70 yards. These counterattacks, and and they look good. And sometimes we get chances, sometimes we don't. But the challenge of it when you're up 2-0 is your team gets really separated from back to front. And if you don't finish those attacks and they start coming back at you, then typically guys don't sprint back quite as fast as they sprint forward to try to get those. And so the one that hurt us really was the last one in the half, where you're at 44, 30, 45 minutes. We transition out. We've got a 2-0 lead going into halftime, and we try to finish that attack fast. We don't, and it comes back, and we're separated. And then because we have a counter, and they have more numbers on the backside of our counter, and they're able to clear it out, and now they're coming at us with numbers, and we're kind of just trying to manage the situation. And as we're recovering back, we don't get to the to crosser, and the ball gets whipped in front of our goal. We don't deal with it. And so what could have been a good half and a really positive feeling going in up two, you come in, having just given one up. So at the tail end, I think this is the third game and 3 or 4 that we've given on up at the death of a game or a half. And so it's, again, just finishing out these last, minutes a little bit more mature, a little bit more aware of the situation, and make sure that we take the lead that we deserved, the 2-0 to the half. So second half, they adjusted into more of a 3-5-2. So they got an extra number in the midfield because we were both kind of in a 4-4-2 in the first half, and I felt like we were able to overload the middle of the field a little bit better and create some options. They went to a 3-5-2, which in terms of getting ourselves rotated the right way to get the overloads, we were sometimes there, but not always there, which made it difficult for us to, I think, control the middle of the field in the second half, which meant that we didn't have a ton of the ball. We were defending through stretches and transitioning and counterattacking, and again, there was some opportunity inside of it, but it was a lot of work inside of some of the defensive effort because we weren't necessarily all that clean in controlling the middle of the field over the course of the second half, and having little sustained possessions where you can rest with the ball a little bit and control the game maybe in their half of the field. So I thought we lost a little bit of momentum on that side, but and the second goal, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head the series of events, but
Shot in, block, cleared out, and then Luna
top
of the 18.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly how they got there, but again, we don't clear a ball clean. That seems to be kind of a thing that's going on for us right now, is we deal with things sort of, but not fully, and then it lands on somebody's foot on the other side and ends up in the back of our net. So it's so then we're at 2-2, and we're trying to adjust a little bit. I liked the 2 forwards in some ways because it certainly gave us some outlets from some of the pressure, and when we were building some speed in the attacks, those 2 guys I thought did a nice job of working off of each other and certainly had some chances and opportunities together throughout the course of the game. But we also needed to find a way to try to get an extra number to see if we couldn't get a hold of the ball a little bit longer. So we slid Douglas inside. I always wanted to get Johnny on the field today. I think these 2 games are an opportunity for him just to get some experience. He shows some of the qualities that he has, and what I've talked to him about is just being a little bit more connected and learning a little bit more on the defending side so that, he feels more comfortable and we feel more comfortable with him out there for 90 minutes because he can manage a little bit of both sides of things. But when he has the ball and when he's running, he's wonderful to see what he's capable of doing. But continuing to mature is just one thing for him. So wanted to get him some minutes along with a couple other guys. So trying to win games, but at the same time, I wanted to get a couple guys some minutes like Novak and some other guys.
Yeah, that was my next question. Your thoughts on Novak and also Cuevas. I think he went the full 90 as well.
Yeah.
What do you see out of his performance tonight?
Yeah, I thought, by and large, Mauricio had a nice, solid game. Again, wasn't a super easy game. They've got a lot of speed and guys on the wings who will run at you. I thought he managed most of those situations pretty good. I think he's comfortable with the ball. A couple situations that I was just asking him to get us off the side sometimes, and he would kind of take us back to the same side and wanted him to help us to get the ball across the field where we had a superiority on the other side, and he wanted to keep feeding it to Douglas, which who can blame him when you're a young player to get the ball to Douglas's feet as much as you can. But yeah, I thought it was a great experience for him. Another day. He knows Luna really well. These are two guys who play on the U20s together, so I'm sure they've competed against each other in training and others many times. So I'm sure he felt relatively comfortable with who was across from him. And then he got Gomez, who's an absolute flyer, an opposite type of player, totally different than Luna. So he got to see two different types of wingers, which is a great experience for him over the course of the game. Who else? Novak. I thought generally he was pretty solid. I think there's a couple times I would like to see him be a little more aggressive, maybe to see if he can come take some things out of the air where he was a little bit stuck on his line. That, again, maybe with more games and a little more experience under his belt, he comes and takes them because he's capable of doing it. And I know, it's helpful for our group. We aren't the biggest team. Maya certainly has helped giving us a lot of aerial presence, but for our goalkeeper in that box to be able to come take a few of those, and then we don't necessarily have to clear them and deal with second balls, but come take them and really then control the play can be helpful. I thought he was solid with his feet, good decisions, things of that nature. I feel like the stops he should make, he made. The first goal is deflected, so it's a tough one. Not much you can really do with that. So again, I think he made the stops that he should, and generally I thought it was a pretty clean night with a couple of things that I think as he gets more games and more comfortable, that I think he'll extend himself a little bit further in some of the plays that maybe he was a little more cautious tonight.
Hey, Greg. Thank you for your time. Dejan Joveljic had a goal and an assist, very active in the final third. Just how important is it for him to finish off the season with confidence, considering it's been a bit of a regression from his production last year?
Yeah, I think really important. I mean, the kid has beat himself up over the course of the season, going a long stretch of games without being able to get a goal, help the team solidify and back up, some of the things that he did last year. It's been hard for him going through the process, but I think he came out and I thought he was really active tonight, and he was busy. I think maybe having a second forward up there too meant that he had a little more freedom to move around the field and didn't always kind of have to give you just that point target type of 9, because that's not really his game. He's not a pure target. So Billy was able to hold up some things, take some balls in. Even Dejan laid some balls off that were nice, but he was able to be a little more mobile while we still had more presence around the goal with Billy. So, and the two of them were good at just being aware of each other and connecting off of each other, and some of the actions I thought were really good. But I thought he was active. I thought he was busy. I thought he found his speed and his pace inside of the game. I thought, one of the things I was happy with, he was linking up play pretty well over the course of the night, which is something he's had a couple hard times throughout the season, just taking balls in and linking them up, and he did a nice job. So I thought there were some positive signs for him tonight for sure, and I know it was a sigh of relief for him to get a goal, get assists, to be actively involved in some of the attacking stuff.
Yeah, I mean, last year he was a player that really ran high on that confidence. I mean, just how much does that give you in your attack? I mean, like you mentioned, him and Billy, kind of two different types of strikers.
Yeah.
I mean, how much does that influence the rest of the other guys as well? Because it seems like in that final third, you guys are really starting to move the ball and get that understanding a lot more.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, again, to know you have strikers that can get you goals, that'll be in front of the goal. Guys who are working off of each other. They put a solid shift in on the defensive side, trying to help to keep us connected. The one thing with two forwards is that you run the risk sometimes of being a little bit light in the middle of the midfield, and Danny and Edwin had to do a huge amount of work tonight, and they did. But if having two forwards on there means that you're more dangerous, that you're scoring more goals, and they can help do some of the dog work in there that sometimes you need that extra midfielder to do, then certainly there's benefit to it. I thought because they were collaborative and they were working together, it created some very positive moments for us through the course of the night.
Yeah, my final question. Douglas Costa, again, scoring a goal. orchestrating this offense. I mean, how important has that been to, because early in the season you guys were struggling a lot with your strikers scoring goals, getting these chances, but with Douglas now he's kind of flowing, the game's flowing through him and he's creating these moments. I mean, how important is that, and is he part of your future when it comes to building and maintaining this offense?
So, I mean, it's been really important for us. Our challenges over the last 10, 12 games haven't been our ability to create chances and score goals. It's been on the other end. It's being able to keep teams at 0 or worst case 1. You know, we've had to score 3 goals, 4 goals to win games, and that's really difficult. So, but especially with Ricky going down, you know, Douglas has had to carry a bigger load even in some of the playmaking. But his ability to get you out of tight spaces, to take the ball under pressure, to eliminate sometimes the first guy, and obviously technically he can do so many things that are different than most players. Then he's capable of just unlocking games in ways that is unique, you know. He obviously works a little bit more from right to left, so in that way we've become a little bit more of a team that's been working over towards the left over this little stretch, which is different because when Ricky's in there, we tend to work a little bit more towards the right. So, so it's just meant that, yeah, sometimes our attacks look a little bit different, but he's done a great job because he has that capacity to change the look of an attack really quickly, and not many players have all of that. So. As far as our future, we have a lot of just talking to do as a club, and we have a lot of big decisions that we're going to have to make, and decisions that we're going to have to work through as this tough season comes to a close. We have first we got to get guys healthy, and we've got to see where everybody's at. But we've got a lot of talking to do. But I know for having gone through this grind, we're going to be stronger as a group for going through it. All right, thank you.
We've got